Lenox Soccer Association matchup. Tonight's matchup features the Jets in red, coached by Arthur Novak, against the Torpedoes in gold, coached by George Sheehy. The Jets roster looks like this. Michelle Boban, Des Boyle, Josh Cosgrove, Ashley DeVries, Michaela Kaczynski, Molly McCaslin, Thomas McLaughlin, Anna Morris, Connor Novak, Paige Oliver, Michael Patrizzi, Marissa Schneider, Seth Sidler, Maria Sturr, Randy Sweet, Doug Walden, and the Torpedoes roster. The Torpedoes are in yellow and are beginning to take the field as we speak. The Torpedoes are in yellow and made up of Abigail Bovard, Stephen Brink, Grace Carter, Nick Cogliance, Ellie Flock, Tanner Money, Amanda Murphy, Patrick Murphy, Connor Noonan, Cameron Samoska, Sydney Samoska, Anna Sheehy, Lauren Widelsky, Sophia Wilkes, Sophia Zimba, and Jack Zolecki. It is a windy night here at Lincoln Way West. We're playing under the lights for this U14 matchup, and looks like we're getting ready to get started. Referees are, the Torpedoes are out on the field, and the referees are getting everybody lined up. This game features something new for New Lenox Soccer Association. We don't normally have line judges, assistant referees, but tonight's game we do, and it's great. We love it. So we'll have some time here for a few seconds. It's a brisk night. It's not cold yet, but I do believe that it will be cooling off as the Jets begin to take the field. The Torpedoes are ready to go. This is a larger field than most of the players are used to playing on. Or maybe not larger, but definitely faster. The AstroTurf here at Lincoln Way West is quicker than the grass at Spencer. I'd like to thank Lincoln Way West for giving us time on the field, for our wonderful organization to play a heated match. Kids love playing under the lights. So as the Jets take the field, we'll be ready to start here in just a moment. What we found last year was that the team being so much faster, the kids had to run harder and work harder to keep up with the ball, and they ended up a little exhausted by the third and fourth quarters. So expect to see more of the same today, but we'll see how it works out. Maybe they'll have last year's experience under the belt, be ready to go. Having trouble with the ball at the start line. It seems to be blowing off the line. Referee checks with the goalies, make sure they're prepared. Checks with his assistant referees. And away we go. And we have a false start. Off of the kickoff, when you first touch the ball, you can't touch it. You can't be the first person to touch it afterwards. So that's why that was. And ball played back and then forward by the Torpedoes to Torpedo forward. A nice centering ball, but it is knocked down by the Jet defense. Ball is then dumped in deep and taken by the Torpedo forwards, who were unable to continue their rush, and the Jets are trying to clear the ball out, and it is knocked out of bounds. It'll be Torpedo ball. And so on the throw-in, Torpedoes put the ball in play. It is taken by the Jets and knocked out of bounds. So it'll be Torpedo ball on the restart once again. Good hard throw in by the Torpedoes leads to a cross that's cut off by the Jets. Another attempt at a cross is knocked out of play. for a Jet goal kick. So the Jets quickly moving back into position. Everybody spreading out for the goal kick. This will be a challenge as the ball's been rolling around the field in the wind a little bit. Referee giving him the goalkeeper some advice on his kick. And the ball's put into play. And a good solid kick is taken by the Jets at midfield. Ball popped across switch fields, but it's taken back by the Torpedoes, who then move the ball forward. Unable to continue the press are the Torpedoes, but they move it around out wide, switching fields and down the sideline. And the send was a little too long, and it'll be Jet ball on the side. Referee George O'Neill has things well in hand. There he is in the green shirt. And so the ball played in by the Jets, taken by the Torpedoes, and then knocked back out of bounds by the Jets. And that ball looks like it's trying to get out of the field of play. And it does. It's successful. So we'll get another ball. And we'll put that in play. And referee wants to check the ball before they put it into play. George ever the stickler for the rule. And the ball's put into play by the Torpedoes and bounced off the hip of a Jet player. Taken back in, put into play by the Torpedoes, knocked down deeper into their zone and held in by the Jets, who try and kick it back out and are able to clear, but it's held in by the Torpedoes, who switch fields. The Jets collect the ball and take it out wide. A host of Torpedoes chasing on the scene, and able to take the ball back are the Torpedoes. Then crossing through the middle, a nice centering pass was missed by the Torpedo forward, and then missed by the Jet goalie, and then kicked out wide and taken for a corner kick. That was an interesting series of events there. And so the Torpedoes line up for their corner and launch the ball into play, but it is knocked clear by the Jets. And continuing their rush upfield are the Jets, trying to pass the ball forward, but poor touch puts the ball on the toes of the Torpedoes, who push the ball forward and then down the line, dumped into the zone by the Torpedoes, but the Jet goalie is there to pick up the ball. So the Jet goalie comes out to put the ball back into play. A nice punt, lifted it up in the air and let the wind take it. That's a great idea. Jet forwards push the ball up, and the Torpedo defense is there to try and shut them down, and does. Sending the ball back in deep are the Torpedoes, but it is collected by the Jets and sent back. And so the Torpedoes defense takes the ball, turns it back upfield, sends it down the line. Very nice put down the line, but it is taken back by the Jet defense, who sent it back into the zone, but unable to collect a Jet forward. Jet midfielders there, and it's knocked out to the Jets. And so the Jets throw the ball back in, and it is taken through the Torpedo defender, and they try to clear the ball but are unable to. And the Jet defenders Jet forwards are trying to put some pressure on the ball. Nice switch of the fields there, but nobody home. And so the Torpedoes collect the ball and send it through, stopped again by the Jet midfielders. And the Torpedoes defense then sends the ball up long and does a great job with that. And kick through and just out of bounds to the Jets. Some spirited play there on the sideline led to a turnover, and there the Jets have the throw in. The ball is thrown in improperly, and so it'll be a turnover. Oh, not a turnover. He's giving him a second chance. Good. And so the Jets take the ball, send it through after a little bouncing back and forth between the Jets and the Torpedoes. And it's knocked out, and it will be torpedo ball. And torpedo ball thrown into the wind gets hung up, taken by the Jets, and sent down by the torpedo defense, who knocked the ball into the torpedo forwards, trying to get the ball through, or the torpedo forwards. Some nice head work there, but unable to get past the stingy Jet defense. Then push forward to the Jets forwards, and then they're cut off and sent it back into the zone. And the Torpedoes are unable to continue possession, and a handball is called on the Jets. And so it'll be a direct free kick, but I don't really think anybody's scoring from here. If George was holding his hand straight up, it would be an indirect free kick, but he is not. Indirect, you can't score. Somebody else has to touch it before it goes in the net, but on a direct, he could kick it. That's a live ball. If it goes in the net, it's a goal. But the torpedo forwards are there to try to make a play on the ball, but are stymied by the Jet defense, who does a nice job of pushing the ball out to the side, where the torpedo forward takes the ball away and sends a nice centering pass, and the torpedo forward pushes the ball back in, midfielder pushes the ball back in. Attempt to clear is unsuccessful, and so the ball bounces past the torpedo midfielders and then taken by the torpedo defense and sent back in. But the Jet defense is able to collect the ball and send it deep, but nobody home to collect that ball, and so it's going to roll far away down into the corner, blown by the wind. As the flags flutter in the heavy breeze behind us, knocking over the corner flag. And so the Torpedoes will have the ball on the throw-in. And a nice easy throw-in, try to keep it low out of the wind. It was effective. The ball is moved down the sideline and out of bounds. I believe it will be Jets throw-in. And so the Jets take the ball on the throw-in and then pass the ball in. It's headed back out by the Torpedoes. Another Jet throw-in is taken by the Torpedoes and knocked out of bounds once again. And so the Jets will throw the ball in again. Another nice throw-in is taken by the Torpedoes and knocked out of play into the stands, and we'll get another ball. And we're getting a ball for the referee to check out so we can use it. George is checking the ball, make sure it's good. Referee George is checking the ball. He doesn't like that one. And our previous game ball comes back into play, and so we'll probably end up using, and there we are, end up using that one. So the Jets take the ball on the throw-in, and the ball is sent in, taken by the Torpedo defense. And they're trying to move the ball up the field, but are unable to. Try to cross the ball, bounced off of the Jet forward, and taken in front of the net. And a shot, ooh, no shot. Torpedo defense recovered nicely on that play. Trying to move the ball out wide. They're successful in navigating the Jet forwards, moving the ball up the sideline and out of play to the Jets. So the Jets will take the ball on the throw-in, moving up to the sideline. And here we are, ready for the play to resume, and a nice throw-in over everybody's head, but no shot taken, and the ball bounces out, and it will be a Torpedo goal kick. So the Torpedo goalie will set the ball down on the goal line, on the keeper line, but he doesn't know where it's at because he can't see it in the paint. And there we go. Now he's got it figured out. And so he'll be launching the ball back into play. And there it is. Taken by a torpedo forward, or a red jet forward, and not much of a shot there. I think she wanted another touch, but I think the ball dribbled too far on her. And that ball rolled out of play, actually. So it'll be another kick by the Torpedo goalkeeper and taken by the Jets, who then give the ball back up to the Torpedoes. Playing on the sideline is knocked out of play, and it will be to the Torpedoes. We're getting some debris clinking around here on the field as we wait for the ball to be returned to play. It is quite a windy day. And the Torpedoes will take the ball on the throw-in. And the ball played forward and taken by the Jets, knocked back to the Torpedoes, who are taking their time, having plenty, and they knocked the ball up the sidelines, but it's knocked back by the Jets into the Jets' offensive zone. Torpedoes are trying to settle the ball, but are unable to, and the ball is knocked back to the goalie. So he will take a running punt at the ball and launches the ball into play. Again, that one looked like it got taken up by the wind a little bit. And so the Jets defense steps up and collects the ball, but is stymied by the Torpedo forwards, who are moving down the field with speed. Nice breakaway. Centered the ball to the Torpedo forward, and she was unable to handle it. Another centering pass puts the ball in the goalie's hands. So a nice rush by the Torpedoes is stymied by the Jets, who launched the ball into play. A nice settle there by the Jet midfielder. And so the Jets collect the ball and send it down. And that ball bounces out of play to the Torpedoes. Torpedoes a ball on the restart, and they throw the ball into play. And it is knocked out of play by the Torpedoes, and it will go back to the Jets. Jets collect the ball and throw it into play. And knocked out of play by the Torpedoes again, so there'll be another Jet throw in. Everybody moves downfield a little bit more. And there they are. The Torpedoes take the ball and knock it through to the middle, where it's collected by the Jets. And the Jets trying to put a lot of pressure on the ball. Shot on goal is wide left. And so the Jet goalie, or the Torpedo goalie, collects the ball and moves back upfield to the penalty box, or to the goalie box, and where he will launch the ball into play. A nice kick, good form on that, but it is taken by the Jets, who then turn the ball back upfield. And the Torpedoes are trying to stop up, and a shot on goal. This one is going to be wide right. Jet shot on goal. Jets are working hard to move the ball and get a good shot on goal. Torpedoes are in yellow on defense, trying to move the ball into their zone and manufacture their own scoring chances. That ball snakes through two Jet forwards, but bounces off of a Torpedo midfielder and is taken back. Then the Jets clear the ball, and that's the end of the quarter. So at the end of the first, we're 0-0. And we will rejoin the action in a moment. So here we are at the beginning of the second period. For purposes of recreational soccer in New Lenox, we divide it into 4 quarters so that we get more equal time for all the players. Stop and play is a good time for everybody to sub out, and then we get equal time for all players, which is the goal of one of the goals of our organization. I'd like to remind everybody that registration for recreational soccer opens December 1st. December 1st, recreational soccer registration opens. Register as soon as you can. So we've got a 0-0 game here. Ball played back into the zone, or played back into the field. And I believe it will be the Jets kickoff for this this time. And the Torpedoes will start on D. Torpedoes are playing a 3-3-3. 3 forwards, 3 midfielders, or 3-3-4. Or 4-3-3. You're supposed to start from the goalie, so it's a 4-3-3. At any rate, the Jets move the ball, trying to move the ball up the field. Unable to, stymied by the Torpedoes, and taken upfield by the Torpedoes into the Jets zone. Through a nice dribbling, a nice breakaway created by the Torpedo forward, who puts a shot on goal, and it is saved by the goalie, who punts the ball back into play and is stopped by the Torpedoes and launched deep, but nobody home on the deep shot, and it will go to the Jets. So the Jets ball on the restart. And there on the sideline is the Jets player who throws the ball in, and settled by the Torpedo forward, who loses it to the Jets, and then ball bounces off of the referee, who is technically part of the field. And the Jets are now moving the ball up the field, and it is cut off by the Torpedoes, and then taken back by the Jets, and pushed forward to a trio of Jets who launch the ball deep, and the ball is picked up by the Torpedo goalie, who then launches the ball into play. Looks like it got caught up in the wind a little bit, but I think it's gonna bounce out of play to the Jets. So the Jets will have continuing opportunities to press their offensive position. And here's the throw in. Ball played in and through to the Torpedo defender, takes the ball, and the Jets forward knocks it out of bounds, and so it will be a Jets, a Torpedo goal kick, but he doesn't know where the box is because it's hidden inside the A of the Warriors. And so the Torpedoes begin play on a goal kick, and there it is, launched into play. Across the middle, dangerous always, but taken by the Torpedoes and taken back by the Jets. Working hard are the Torpedo midfielders to push the ball forward, and unable to. Pushed it past the, taken by the Jets, who put a shot on goal, and it is just wide into the side of the net. Great shot by the Jets. And so the Torpedoes play the ball back in, and it is launched and taken by the Jets, but taken back by the Torpedoes and played through by the Torpedo forwards. And the Jets bounce the ball back into the Torpedo zone, but it's out of play. So the Torpedoes throw the ball in, and it doesn't ever enter the field of play, and so the throw-in will be repeated. And there the ball is thrown into play and taken by the Jets with a handball, and so it'll be the Torpedoes free kick. And the ball launched into play. An excellent kick that goes out of play. Maybe taken by the wind a little bit, and so it'll be a Jets throw in, and the ball thrown in past the, off the Jets face, but taken by the Torpedo defender. He's moving the ball upfield, tries to move it past, but unable to, stopped by a Jet player who does some nifty dribbling, but is unable to get past the second Torpedo defender. And more Jet forwards are able to keep the ball in. A centering pass is taken back by the Jets and sent upfield. and taken by the Torpedo forward, who makes a nice little touch, and he's got a breakaway. It's an open, it's him and the goalie. Here comes the Torpedo, nice keeping it close, and past the goalie and in the net. Great run by the Torpedo forward for a goal. I was particularly impressed with the way he kept the ball close to him at the end of the run so that he could make a move on the goalie and push the ball past him and for an easy goal. Very nice run by the Torpedo forward there. And so the Jets take the ball on the restart, trying to move it forward, and they dump it in. But it is taken by the Torpedoes and launched back to midfield, where they are unable to collect. The Jets launch it back into the offensive zone and played back to the Torpedo defense. And they play it through, but it is missed and taken by the Jets. And Jets are trying to move the ball upfield and knock it out of play. So it'll be Torpedo ball on the rethrow. And there's the throw in. It gets past the Jet midfielder and launched by the Jet defender into the box. This is dangerous as a shot is blocked by the Jet defender and knocked off the end line. That block probably saved a goal for the Torpedoes, and so the Jets will take a corner kick. Should be a good opportunity for the Jets to put a ball. They've got the wind behind them there. Should be able to put a nice ball across the middle. And so here the Jets go, put the ball in play. And a nice touch on the ball, but it curves out and is taken by the Jet midfielders and knocked back in deep, and it rolls out of play, and it'll be a Torpedo goal kick. So, Torpedo goal kick on the restart. And the ball is launched into play, where it is taken back by the Jets, who collect and center the ball, and it is tipped forward. Dangerous ball is shut down. Another shot blocked out front, but taken back by the Jets, who are unable to press the ball through, and knocked out, cleared by the Torpedo defense, sent back in by the Jet defense, and trying to keep the ball in as a Torpedo midfielder and unable to. That fast surface got the better of her that time. And so the Jets will take the ball on the throw-in, and ball played into the Torpedo defense, and they knock it up into the air over the Jet midfielders, and then take the ball and, unable to continue his run, but that was a great play anyway. And then ball poked through and two, but missed by the midfielders, the Torpedoes. And it appears that the Jets have number here, and if they keep the ball in and unable to stymie the Torpedo defense and knocked out of play. And so it'll be Jets ball on the throw in. Jets fanning out nicely, and the ball thrown in and over, but taken by the Torpedoes, unable to be corralled, and it is knocked out, and it'll be Torpedo ball. So their Torpedo throw in is missed by the Jets, and stymied. A lot of swipes and misses, and finally the Torpedoes come through with the ball and break out. Open space downfield, and she makes a nice move on the defender. She's got her and the goalie in the open net, and she puts it in. She made it look easy. The Jet goalie was a little out of position on that one, but the breakaway was excellently run by the Torpedo forward. And so the Jets will take the ball on the restart. We've got a 2-0 count for and the Jet player complaining about the positioning on the restart. And then the ball launched into the torpedo zone where it's taken by the Jets and sent back to the Jet midfielders, who are unable to control it, or taken by the Torpedoes and sent back to the Torpedo midfielders, who are unable to control it, and then it's taken back by the Jets. And now it's moved upfield along the sideline, and it held in by the Jet midfielder and then launched back to midfield by the Torpedo forwards, or Torpedo defenders. Torpedo defense trying to move through and able to, and sending out the ball wide and kicking it up are the Torpedo forwards. Torpedoes again moving the ball forward. Looks like they're all tired, and so the Jet goalie picks up the ball and launches it quickly back to the Jet midfielders, who are able to move up. Jets have numbers and send the ball down the line. And it's cut off by the Torpedoes and knocked out of play. An excellent defensive play on a very dangerous ball. Torpedoes a little slower getting back on the defense, but the Jets are all down low. And the ball played in, taken by the Torpedoes, and launched through past the Jet midfielders to the Jet forward, or to the Torpedo forwards. Stopped by the Jet defense, and the Torpedoes are trying to maintain possession and are able to and unable to, and then the Jets take the ball back, sent forward. There's a lot of Jet forwards right there, and the ball is sent back and kicked out wide by the Torpedo defense and out of play, and so it will be Jet ball. The Jet midfielder, or Jet defender, having some difficulty with where the sideline is. He plays the ball into a Jet forward who knocks it back where nobody is, and so the Torpedoes knock the ball out. So again, the Jet defender throws the ball in. Not enough juice on that, but it does bounce through. Here's an excellent opportunity, but no mustard on the ball, and the ball bounces into the Torpedo goalie's hands, who throws the ball back into play, and it's taken by the Torpedoes, and able to move the ball to the Torpedo forwards. Another nifty move, breaks through, and taken by the Jet defender, but sent out wide where it's picked up by another Torpedo, who's got another breakaway on the goalie, and he takes the shot, and it's wide right. Goalie had much better positioning on that play and was able to cut off the angles on the Torpedo forward, and so he sent the ball out wide. And so the Jet goalie will take the ball on a goal kick. Where he launches the ball back into play, and it's taken by the Jet defense, trying to move the ball upfield and do a very nice job of getting it at least to midfield when it rolls out of play. So it'll be Torpedo ball on the restart. A nice throw in, but the ball rolls out of play. So it'll be Jet ball on the restart. Jets throw the ball in, and it is bounced off of a Torpedo forward, plays it back and out of play. So it'll be a Jet ball on the restart once again. And there's the ball played in, taken by the Torpedoes, who try to switch fields but are unable to. The ball taken then by the Jets, cut off by a Torpedo defender, who moves the ball forward, but it is taken by the Jets, and then we're playing a little back and forth here, and it's collected by the Torpedo forwards, who then lob the ball forward, but it is taken immediately by the Jet defenders. kick the ball out wide, but it is collected by Torpedo midfielder, who then puts a big kick on the ball and right into little too hard of a touch. And the Jet goalie was able to collect and send it deep right into the waiting arms of their forwards, but the forwards were unable to collect, and so the Torpedo defenders then collect the ball and send it back in, and the ball played out wide by Jet defender, but it collected by the Torpedo or the Jet goalie. Again, the ball played to the forwards, and the forwards are able to move the ball through. Nice dribbling here, trying to put on some fancy moves and wait for some help, but then it's taken away by the Torpedo defense, and that's halftime. So at halftime, our score is 2-0 Torpedoes, and we'll be back in just a moment. All right, here we are at the start of the second half. The teams have switched sides, as is customary in soccer. So now the Torpedoes will have the wind to their back, the Jets with the wind to their face. Not all the field players have taken the field yet. And it looks like we have a guest moving his way across the field. And so here we are. At our wonderful facility at Lincoln Way West, under the lights. I'd say it's about 65 degrees now, and maybe 68. It's getting a little cool. With the breeze, it's chilly, but it's a clear night, mostly clear. And so the players are taking the field, getting ready for our restart. So the Torpedoes with the advantage right now. A 2-0 second quarter put them on top. Jets will be trying to equalize that mark by pressing the ball into the Torpedo goal. So we're getting ready for restart. Referees are now spreading out across the field. And we'll be ready momentarily as our head referee gets ready for his game restart. I'd like to remind everybody that registration for the Recreational Soccer League starts December 1st, runs to February 1st, or February 2nd. Anyway, it opens December 1st, so register early, so you don't forget later, because if you don't do it now, you'll forget later. At least that's what I always say. So it looks like we're getting ready for the restart. Referees checking with our goalies, and the Torpedoes will take the ball on the restart. And we're getting ready, and the referee signals play to begin. And so the Torpedoes take the ball, send it back to their midfielders, and move forward. The Jets forwards are trying to put some pressure on the ball and manage to force a turnover. And so the Jets will take the ball. Oh, my bad. Must have been off a Jet player. So the Torpedoes will continue possession on the throw-in, and they throw the ball in, and it's off a Jet head and knocked out of play, and it'll be to the Torpedoes once again. And so there we go. Ball collected before it escapes the field of play. And so the Torpedoes take the ball on the side and throw the ball in. It is taken by the Jets and launched out of the field of play into the stands and around and down and up and around and over and returned to the field of play by a spectator So the Torpedoes will take the ball on the throw-in once again. We're starting off slow here in the second half. Maybe some of the players a little weary from the first half's amazing events. And the ball centered by the Torpedoes and threw out off the end line. And it will be a Jet goal kick. So Jets take the ball and switch fields and launch the ball into play. And it is taken by the Torpedoes and collected, sent back forward, but a wild pass ends up in Jet defender and taken by the Jet forward, who have a nice breakaway and unable to continue the breakaway and knocked off the end line by the Jet forward. And then so the ball is taken back for a goal kick by the Torpedoes. And launched into play and settled by the Torpedoes and turned upfield. And there go the Torpedoes trying to move the ball forward, but it's collected by the Jets on cutoff. And then the Jets move the ball back upfield and turned over to the Torpedoes, who cut off by the Jet defenders, sent back to midfield, taken by the Jets, launched forward to the Jets and knocked out of play, and it will be Torpedo ball. And the Torpedoes throw the ball into play, taken by the Jets, and bounced out of play. So it'll be Torpedo ball. On the throw in, the Torpedoes throw the ball in, taken by the Jets, collected and sent across over the end line, and it'll be Jet ball. And so the Jets throw the ball in. It's taken by the Torpedoes and through. The Torpedoes got a breakaway on the missed ball and a nice touch, puts it off the goalie's leg, and another backup shot that goes way over the back of the net. Nice save by the Jet goalie. Nice follow-up by the Torpedo midfielder, but the ball was sent long and out of play. Jets dodged a bullet there. I'd say the ball's played back by the Jets, tried to push it forward, but unable to. Torpedoes take the ball back, and they are in position to put a nice ball through, but it is cut off by the Jet defenders very nicely. And midfielders push the ball forward to the Jets forward, but the Torpedo defense was there to cut it off. Torpedo midfielders there to try and continue the rush forward, and unable to do so as the Jets defenders cut them off. And some rough play there, but it's clean, and the Torpedoes take the ball on the sideline, and a nice centering ball is caught by the Jet goalie. Very nice defensive play there by the Jet goalie, who punts the ball back into play, and it is collected by the Torpedo defense and set back in, and the Jet defender will take the ball on the throw-in. So the ball played back to the Jet defense and out of play, and so it'll be back to the Torpedoes. Torpedo ball on the throw-in. Torpedoes collect, and a good strong throw, but taken by the Jets. And Torpedoes push the ball forward, but unable to get a pass through, and then taken by shot on goal and stopped by the goalie. Ball bounces wide a little bit, but is collected safely. And so the Jet goalie punts the ball into play, caught up by the wind. You see that ball die as it was in the air, but taken by the Jet midfielders and tried to push forward to the Jet forwards. They're unable to continue, but they switch fields, but then collected by the Torpedo forwards, able to move the ball upfield and send it to the forward, who's not going to make it before it gets over the end line. A nice run by the Torpedo forward, but unable to catch up to that ball. The quick surface again stymies the players. The ball rolls very nicely here. You get a lot of length. A lot of action for your kick. And so the Jets switch field. Picks up the ball and plays it in to the Jets defender, but unable to get past the Jet forward. And a nice stop by the Jet defender. Puts the ball out to the side where it is collected again by the Torpedo forward, who centers the ball, and it is taken by the Jet defense and knocked up but not out. The ball bouncing ball is taken by the Jet defense and cleared out to the side and out of play. And it will be Torpedo ball on the rethrow, on the throw-in. And so the Torpedoes take the ball, throw it in. Good throw, leads to the Jet defense trying to get some nice dribbling, nice shielding done right there, and the ball cleared out wide, and it'll be back to the Torpedoes. Very nice shielding by the Jet defender. Ball thrown back in and taken by the Torpedoes. Try to clear, or the Jets try to defense try to clear it out, but then center. And then they do clear it out to the Jet midfielders and sent forward and cut off by the Torpedo defense. Sent back in for the Torpedo forwards and touched by the defense. Pushed through and a race for the ball will put it at the toes of the Torpedoes, but unable to maintain possession, and so the Jets will take the ball. Played in, stopped by the Jets, or by the Torpedoes, and launched forward, but I believe that will be collected by the goalie. And launched and collected by the Torpedo, and unable to put the ball past the goalie or the Torpedoes, and collected by the goalie and punted into play by the Jet goalie and played on by the Torpedoes, who launched the ball up into the air. And eventually the ball makes it to the Jet forwards, but stymied by the Torpedo defense. Unable to push the ball past the midfield, and the ball's launched by the Jet midfielders and sent back to the Torpedo midfielders by the Torpedo defense. Jets starting to put some pressure on now as they're able to move the ball forward and trying to move the ball past, unable to. And the ball pushed out wide, and I believe it will be collected by the Jets and sent down the line and out of play. And so it'll be a Torpedo ball. And here comes the ball into play, and Torpedoes push the ball up. Looks like she tripped a little bit there, and that ball is going to go past the end line, and it will be a goal kick for the Jets. So at the U14 level, there are 4 teams. So these teams are very familiar with each other now. They've played each other a couple of times, I'm sure. And so the Jets will start on the restart. On the goal kick. Kicks it into a troop of Torpedoes who are unable to settle. Then the Torpedoes, or the Jets, take the ball through. And, ooh, a fan on the ball. It leaves it to the Jets. The Jets push the ball forward. Unable to push, trying to force the ball by. And unable to. And Jets push the ball down the line and out of play. So it'll be a Torpedo throw in. And so the Torpedoes at the line. Throw the ball in. Shielded nicely and then taken by the Jets and knocked out of play. And here we are with the Torpedo restart. Another ball thrown in, taken by the Jets and knocked out of play. So we'll move up the field a little bit more, and another ball taken in and handled by the Jets defense, who are trying to push the ball up and unable to, and then a break by the Torpedo sends the ball down the field, and she's trying to center the ball, but unable to, as the defender is right there and kicks. Unfortunate bounce leads to a Torpedo goal. And so the Torpedo extend their lead. Hard work down the sideline and a shot on goal. An unfortunate bounce, and it's in the back of the net. And the Torpedoes lead 3-0. So the Jets will add in another additional player. And the ball is played forward and out and back. Jets don't look disheartened at all. They're still trying hard, still working hard, and the ball is played out to the Torpedoes. And there we go. Ball played in, taken by the Torpedo forward, and stopped and bounced off, and so the Torpedoes on the throw-in. I didn't see the call. So we're looking at a Jets goal kick. So the Jets line up for their goal kick. And the ball launched into play right on the toe of a Jet defender who pushes it forward nicely and then pushes it up to the Jet midfielders. And very nice play by the Jets, but it ends up on the toes of the Torpedoes, who move the ball out wide. A nice pass, moves it side to side and through, and a shot on goal and off the crossbar. Ball bounces out, still in play, and cleared out nicely by the Jets, who are now moving the ball back onto the attack, moving the ball up the sideline, shut down by the Torpedo defense, and the ball pushed back to the middle where the Torpedoes collect the ball, and a long touch puts it on the toe of a Jet, who comes back and collects. Torpedoes again take the ball. It looks like the Torpedo midfielders are having trouble getting past the Jet midfielders are having trouble getting past the Torpedo midfielders. And so there we have it. Ball played back in, and that's the end of the third period. The score is now 3-0 Torpedoes. And we'll take a short break. Okay, we're here for the start of the fourth and final period. The Jets have a big hill to climb, but we've seen it before. It can happen. This recreational games are unpredictable at best. So we'll have the Jets take the ball on the restart as soon as they get all their players on the field. We're waiting for the referee to get the required number of players on the field. So the Jets are just about ready to restart. And there we go. There we go. Checking with all of his judges and the referees. And so the Jets take the ball on the restart and send it deep, where it is collected by the Torpedo midfielders, taken out wide and sent back, collected by the Jet forwards, who then launch the ball into empty space. Jet defenders collect the ball, send it back. A little bit of volleyball going on here, as both sides are trying to move the ball into the other zone, and unable to collect it are either side. And eventually the ball kicks out wide and is out of play to the Torpedoes. Torpedoes collect the ball and launch it into play right to a Jet player. And it is held in and then taken back. Sent across to the Jets, who then move the ball upfield. A nice pass, but couldn't hold on to it. Pushed deep, taken back. A little bit more volleyball here. Played out to the goalie, who collects it. Collects the ball and throws the ball back into play. I believe the Jets will collect that ball, but send it out wide, and nobody's home. And so it is out of play to the Torpedoes. Ball played in and through. And that ball is touching on the line, but it stays in. Again, the Torpedoes moving the ball up the field nicely. Jet defender there to cut it off, and that one rolls over the end line. And so the Jet goalie will take a goal kick. Again, trouble with the line there, and then she sees it. All right. So their play resumes on the goal kick. Sent in to the Jet defender, taken away by the Torpedo offense, and a foot race will end with the ball out of play to the Jets. So again, the Jets on the restart. They need to start pushing the ball up and across the field as soon as possible. Nice boot, makes it past the Torpedo forwards, but not the midfielders. Jet defense pushes it past the Torpedo midfielders to the forwards, who then take the ball upfield. It's a nice almost breakaway, and it's kept in. Jets put some pressure on now, and the ball played forward and cut off by the Torpedo defense. And sent back out, cleared, and the Torpedoes trying to push it back, unable to, as the Jets moving up the field slowly. Nice pass to the middle, but not enough juice on it, and it is taken by the Torpedo defense, pushed out wide, where the Jets midfielders are trying to collect the ball, having some trouble. There he goes. Again, pushes the ball up forward and tries to push it past the Torpedo defender, but unable to. So the throw-in sends the ball to the Jets, who are unable to push the ball to the middle, and so it'll be a Jet throw-in. Deep in the corner, the Jets take the ball and send it. Torpedoes collect and continue in off the end line, and it will be a corner kick for the Jets. Let's see if they can put a nice strike on the ball and put it into the zone. Create a scoring opportunity for the Jets. I think there's some discrepancy about how far out that ball can go. And there we are. And the ball played in nicely. Great ball. And that ball is, just wide. Still in play. The Jets are trying to force the ball in. Torpedoes trying to kick the ball out. And it's still bouncing around. It's free. Bounces off the goalie. And it is cleared out. Jets collect the ball and try to turn the ball back around. Unable to. And then cleared out into safety, but held back in. Launched on goal. Just wide left and collected by the goalie. And throw in is collected missed by the Jets, and taken by the Jets and knocked out by the Torpedoes, so it'll be a Jet throw in.
Good ball, man.
And there the ball's thrown in and settled by the Jet midfielder, who moves up the side and centers the ball nicely, but it wasn't handled by the Jet midfielder, and it will be Torpedo ball, I think. And so the Jets throw the ball in. And incorrect throw in leads to a turnover, so the Jets will take the ball and throw it in. Handball leads to another turnover, and so the Torpedoes will get a free kick out of that. And the ball played through, collected by the Jet midfielder, Jet defender, and pushed up and taken down, and the Torpedo defense pushes the ball out of play. And it will be Torpedo ball.
Turn around, Amanda.
So the Torpedoes looking for an open player, but all there is red right there. And so that's what happens. The Jets take the ball, but unable to control it, sent it out wide to the Torpedoes, who then able to move the ball upfield and through for another breakaway by the Torpedoes. This is a foot race, and shot has got to be coming now, and there it is. And some late game subs by the Torpedoes. And restart is inappropriate, so the referee calls for another restart. And it's a free kick for the Torpedoes. Torpedo free kick, but this is indirect. See how George has got his arm up there, and then they launch the ball, and so the Jets take the ball, send it out wide, and poor touch puts the ball over the sideline and out of play. So the Torpedoes have the ball with a 4-0 lead late in the fourth. Ball played by the Jets, trying to move the ball forward, but unable to, and so the Jets trying to collect the ball but unable to, and then finally do and push the ball up, but it's cut off by the Torpedo defense. So it'll be a Jet throw in. The Jets are trying to decide, they're putting in some subs. Jets are putting in some subs. And then the ball played back in by the Jets and cut off by the Torpedoes. And out of play, that one will go back to the Torpedoes, I believe. And there's the ball played in and stopped by the Jets and played out. So the Torpedoes will throw the ball in again. There it is down the line. And the ball bouncing around a little bit and finally collected by the Jet defense, but played to the Torpedo forwards, who are unable to push the ball deeper, and so the ball's played out. Some fancy footwork pushes the ball through, but it's cut off. And then Jets retain possession and push the ball forward, but cut off by the defense and kicked out wide. That ball's going to bounce out of play, and it will go to the Jets. So the Jets on the throw in, play the ball cut off by the Torpedo defense and booted back to the middle where there's a whole bunch of yellow, very nicely done, to the Torpedo forwards who've got a breakaway and played back to the middle, but cut off and sent out by the Jet defense. Be Torpedo throw in. They attempt to throw it in and unable to, and taken by the Torpedoes and played to the middle, and a nice ball, but cut off by the Jet defense to the Jet midfielders, who then are moving the ball with space and time. Just gotta stop it before it goes out of play and is unable to, and so the ball goes back to the Torpedoes. And the ball thrown in and stopped by the Jet defender. Played back to the Jet forward and through. Nice through ball again on the sideline. Let's see if she can keep it this time. And she's unable to once again. And she had a little help that time, it looks like, though, from a Torpedo defender. And so the Jets will throw the ball in. Still looking for their first tally. And the ball played in nicely and sent to the middle, but not quite with enough mustard. And so it rolls over the end line for a Torpedo goal kick. We've got to be in the waning minutes of this half and the game. The Torpedoes trying to hold on to their shutout. The Jets trying to break through as the ball is put in back into play off the goal kick and collected by the Torpedoes, who try to move the ball up the field but are unable to, and so it goes to the Torpedoes. Torpedo ball on the throw in as the players shift fields. And thrown in and taken by the Jets and launched into the zone. A little bit of volleyball going on back and forth. And kicked through, collected by the Jets, sent around, and a nice stop, a nice center, and cut off by the Torpedo defender, but not cleared, and again cut off by the Torpedo defender. And there's the Torpedo midfielder moving up the line, sends the ball through. That ball's gonna roll out of bounds to the Jets. So it'll be Jet ball on the throw in. And the ball thrown in and headed back by the Torpedoes.
No, it like went out. She caught it when it went out.
And collected by the Torpedoes, centered and kick through and out, and it'll go to the Torpedoes. Torpedoes take the ball on the restart. On the throw-in, Jack launches the ball nicely, and it is taken and knocked to the side by the Jets and out of bounds. And so it'll be Jet throw-in. Throws the ball in. Grace puts it up in the air, and the Torpedoes are trying to move the ball forward. All kinds of offsides, and it is called. And so the Jets will have to come back for a Torpedo restart. So the Jets will move, or the Torpedoes will move the ball up to where the spot of the foul was, where they'll take their free kick for offsides. And the ball launched into play, and the referee signals end of time. And so with a final score of 4, Torpedoes 4, and Jets 0, we'll wrap up this game tonight from Lincoln Way West on a beautiful breezy night. And thank you all for watching this New Lenox Soccer Association presentation.